I don't know about all that. A better time to be alive. And it's certainly, well, I probably, I said before, it's probably never been a more interesting time to be alive. Welcome to Wide Awake News Radio. I'm your host, Charlie McGrath. 27th day of August, Tuesday, as we draw closer and closer and closer to yet another war, another unbelievable adventure in maiming, killing, butchering, murdering, just down the path of lies, down the path of propaganda. We are marching headlong once again, and we're going to talk about that tonight. I also want to talk a little bit about the economy. Gary and Dex and I were all chatting a little bit about that before the program, how there's a lot of activity, but nobody's making any money. I mean, the statistics are there to back that up, to prove that out. Most people are working for less. We're still millions and millions. Conservative estimates of 8 million jobs that are still out of the economy that were here pre-air quote recession. And the jobs that are being created, 8 out of 10 of them, are part-time, low-wage jobs. There's no recovery coming in sight unless you happen to be one of the fanciful too big to fail that we've talked about time and time again. So we're going to get into it here in a minute, but let me invite everybody. We have about 40 folks, it looks like, sitting in the chat room right now. If you want to join them, wideawakenews.com. Click on the microphone. You'll see that we're updating the site a little bit. Bonnie's been working at redesigning the front page layout a little, trying to make it a little simpler to navigate, and we're messing with some new color schemes there. So if you want to give us your opinion of what you think of the new front page, you can drop that into chat. Look, I got to make an announcement, and it's kind of a rough one because I haven't had full opportunity to talk to all the hosts yet. Gary, I have been able to. I've sent messages to all the hosts, but there's changes coming, and they're coming very quickly. Normally, I would have all the ducks in a row before I would come on and announce anything, but because of the time factor, I am not going to be able to get all my ducks in a row. So I need to let you guys know that show up here faithfully every single night and listen what's going on. This time spot that we are in, that Jeff, Jeff Rentz on the Rentz Network, of course, gives me this time for free. And it isn't free for him. There's human live bodies right now busily around this country doing things to produce this program. We got Brett in the studio, in the Rentz studio. We got Gary Hendershot, and this happens. These are people that have to go to work every single day doing this job. So the reason I'm telling you that is because Jeff has been very, very gracious to help promote Wide Awake News, to help promote me, Charlie McGrath, to help promote my website, help promote the cause that we are doing, and he's done it because he knows that my heart's in the right place for this, and he knows that I'm doing this for the right reasons. He's given this to me, all of it, and it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of broadcast time. Thousands. I know what some of these some hosts have to pay for programming, and over the last several years, it would have been easy to spend $50,000 to get the kind of exposure and audience that Jeff Rentz has given to us. So, with all that said, when I scaled back to do more on the website and more videos and that kind of thing, he gave me an hour a night, even though I couldn't fill that hour every night. So I found some great hosts, Gary, Woody, Eric, and Karen, to come on and to host an hour a night. Now, they are still going to have that exact opportunity to host the programs that they host now, and I will have that same opportunity to host a Tuesday night program that I host now. The difference is, he has somebody that can come in, somebody currently working for him that can come in, but because of their employment situation, they have to have a later spot in the evening. Therefore, starting next week, this time slot will no longer be Wide Awake News Radio. All right? The time slot that has been offered to us, and I don't know how this is going to play out. I will by the end of the week, and maybe I'll come on with Eric on Thursday and talk about it some more, is going to be 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain, and we'll just keep on going, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central time, and wait, did I say that right? 3 to 4, 4 to 5 Central, 5 to 6 East Coast time. So moving back, or moving up earlier in the day. that will be where Wide Awake News Radio will be located. I can't tell you yet, other than Gary, who it won't work for because he has to do his day job till about 7 p.m. East Coast time. I don't know how it's going to work out with the hosts. I will find out. I'll be talking to them. They all have messages in their inboxes right now. And as I know, I will come back on. Maybe tomorrow night with Woody, or maybe Thursday night with Eric, or Karen with Friday. I'm going to try and pop in on all of these, especially if the host can't join us on the new time slot. So that's the news of the changing time. I am going to put out the opportunity for Gary, Woody, Eric, Karen, regardless they go, if they stay with the program on Rinse or not, if they want to continue posting videos, because some of these guys are gaining some traction. I know Woody and Gary both have a good following now on the Wide Awake News Krabby Dog Tricks YouTube channel, and also on the website. So they're more than welcome to continue to post and do their work there. But that is it. That's everything that I know at this point. This all came about today. I want to first and foremost say that, listen, I completely understand why Jeff has to take this opportunity and why the host needs this time slot. Again, Rinse Radio, Jeff Rinse, he's been absolutely 100% a godsend to me, my website, and the message I'm trying to get out. He has been for years. He's the most honest man I've met in this industry by far, and I'm very, very grateful for the time and the time slot and him continuing to support us, regardless if we're in this time slot, an earlier time slot, or if we're not here at all. Jeff Rinse needs to make a living. I mean, that's painfully obvious to all of us that we have to, we have bills to pay, and he has to keep Rinse Network, Rinse Radio on the air. That's a fact. So I want to thank Jeff Rinse. This is in no means will this time slot is because of any controversy or any hard feelings or anything like that. This just is what has to happen. There is the major announcements. Dex, I burnt up 14 minutes of that first segment. You didn't know that news was coming, but it is what it is, brother.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do in this life. It's just good to be back on here again, man. I missed you guys.
Well,
life is taking us to many turns, that's for sure.
Many turns, indeed, and opportunities. I'd like to say there's a lot of opportunities out there, and be kind of positive on that. No, but Dex, we got about a minute in this segment. I put out a video last night on Syria. That is what's on my mind. It's got me really worked up.
Hey, Charlie, there is no 1740 break. Your first break is at 27 minutes, so roll with it, man.
How come? What happened to the break?
Brett told me last night that they were cutting out the 1740 break. So
all right,
go for it.
The 17. Oh, okay. All right, I got you. All right, well, that's cool. Let's roll with it, Dex. I want to get your thoughts on the news of the day, and then get into economic, not necessarily market action, because honestly, man, we're at 150 points a day, and it's all linked to Syria, fear over Syria. Well, guess what? It'll be up 200 points tomorrow because of optimism over the price of crude oil is going to go through the roof or whatever. But I want to talk about the real economy. But let's start off with Syria. Obviously, you're watching this news, man, and we're being fed the exact same diatribe, the exact same garbage that brought us into the Gulf War, in 2003. And I got a few quotes here. And I'm just going to read the first one here. John Kerry. This is what he had to say about Syria. The use of chemical weapons in an attack on civilian population of Syria is undeniable, and the Syrian administration is responsible and will be held accountable. This is what John Kerry said yesterday. But in the year 2003, he had something else to say about weapons of mass destruction. We are in possession of what I think is compelling evidence that Saddam Hussein is developing the capacity for WMDs. This was John Kerry, January 2003, right before we went into Iraq. I've got pages in front of me of quotes from ironically, a decade ago, the same exact people that are selling us on, and it doesn't matter, blue, red, they're all going to come together, hold hands, pull the pin on this, and we're going to go to war with Syria. Dex, I caught in your chat room, in fact, at Black Ops Trading Room, a little bit of grief in there on yesterday, because I said it's heating up in Syria. We're going to be in there at war. And I don't remember which one, and I wouldn't call them out if I knew, but said something along the lines of, this is the same old thing. And I'm like, no, man, this isn't the same old thing. We've got 1,000 people dead by chemical weapons. This can't just go away. We're escalating the deception. We're escalating the deceit as we move down this path towards total global dictatorship by this one world order, by this one world want-to-be government. We have to escalate the carnage as we go. So in 2003, on the heels of 9/11 a few years before, and the patriotism, everybody flying the Chinese-made plastic American flags rolled up in the window of their car for the 2 years prior, it was fairly easy to convince the public and the world, because the whole UN is in on it. The whole UN Security Council signing off on going into Iraq, because we're sure, we're 100% positive, we're 1,000% positive. Ari Fleischer should never have pants again, because they've all should have been burned off of him. He lied so much in them, standing up there in front of that podium as a press secretary for George W. Bush. They're convinced 100% Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. That regime is harboring and giving aid and comfort to Al-Qaeda. We got to go in there. The world was convinced of it. What did we get out of it? 4,488 Americans dead, soldiers dead, 1,487 contractors dead, 319 coalition troops dead, 700 journalists and academics dead, 1.45 million Iraqis dead, because they were sure of it. They were sure of it. They had them. We had to go in there and take them out. We have to escalate the carnage. So this go around, for us to be convinced that killing people in Syria is the way to go, we got to kill. We got to be at the heels of a bunch of civilians being killed. Then we got to be sold that the Syrian government did it, so we will sit back and watch more carnage unleashed. Dex, sorry I'm on a rampage there, but you all right, buddy?
Hey, just coughing a little bit. Excuse me. I mean, you said a lot, man, but here's the thing. It's beyond money at this point. We know that war is profit. We know that it's a racket. We know that they can make a lot of money off of it, but this is a lot more sinister. This has nothing to do with money. This has to do with power. This has to do with tremendous Luciferian satanic agendas going forth. I have been so busy with the home front and other things that I have not had a chance to make YouTube videos or update my blog. But just trust me when I say there are some very sinister things going on and has been going on for a while now. And it all stems from them trying to totally take down the United States of America. We are at the end game now with the USA. The USA will not be here much longer. Their plans to implode the financial system and to bomb this country to oblivion. Right now, Operation Jericho is in full effect. Not long from now, the nukes will start to go off. And that's exactly the way they want it. They've already been in training and preparing for all of this. Just like I said when I first came on your show many moons ago, I said that expect UN troops and soldiers and vehicles rolling down a U.S. neighborhood near you. I said that. Everybody thought I was crazy, thought I was just pulling things out of the air. And what have you been seeing? You've been seeing UN troops practicing, doing drills on U.S. soil. Not only that, but you've seen other foreign troops training with them and learning how to operate American equipment and military infrastructure on U.S. citizens.
Wait a minute. Go dig into that a little bit. What? Say that again.
Okay. There was a massive training drill about a month ago in California, and what they were doing is they were bringing in nations from around the globe who are training to take over the USA once it collapses. And it's in unison with the UN. So you're not going to see, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine boots on the ground in the country. You're going to see UN. Everything is going to be going under the guise of the UN. And yes, they have been training how to use our equipment, how to use our infrastructure, how to run the show, basically. That's what they're going to be doing. So expect to see UN troops on the streets running things once everything collapses. It won't be FEMA, it will be the UN. And yes, all of those facilities that they have been secretly operating behind the scenes, the things we call FEMA camps, will not be known as FEMA camps at that time. They'll be known as re-education camps and things of that nature, where they will be getting rid of thousands of American citizens. That's what's going on. And the reason being is because they need to take down the U.S. because the U.S. is the only thing that's standing in the way of them completing the New World Order. Once the New World Order is complete, then they'll be able to bring in the massive control grid that they've already put up. That's already gone, where it links all of the internet to one mainframe. Let me repeat that. Software that links everything on the internet to one mainframe. You know how the U.S. government under the the FCC?
Yep.
How they have control boxes in all the radio stations where they can come and take over any radio program at any time during national emergencies, quote unquote. Well, now they have the same thing, a control switch for the internet. Not just, a lot of people thought that it was just to turn the internet off and on or limit access, but it's more than that. It's filtering all information from the internet directly into the main system. That's why you've been having the issue at NASDAQ the other day. It wasn't an error. It wasn't a mistake when the NASDAQ was down for 3 hours. They were secretly testing the infrastructure to see if they could make it work with the stock market also, which it does. One central computerized system to control everything. When I say control, I mean totally control everything. There's a program that a lot of officers use. The name of the program slips my mind, but as I describe it, you and the listeners will probably know what I'm talking about. One of those things is where a person can remote access your computer if you download this piece of software.
Right.
Okay. Tech support uses things like that. Well, they don't need that anymore because now all of the new internet protocols have that backdoor mechanism already in place, especially on places like Google. The new Google system that they've come out with will have that capability where they can come in and they can control things. They'll be able to take full control of your hard drive, your computer, any electronic device that you have, anything that you have. The drones are just the beginning. The drones allow them to go where your computer can't go and have eyes where your computer doesn't. So that's the purpose behind the drone thing. Also, the drone can be used to take people out without putting, police officers at risk. And they've been flying them all over the country way before its time. We're supposed to still be in debate and talking about this, but it's already a fact. As a matter of fact, just the other day, a drone went down in Virginia amongst a crowd of people at an event. A drone. Now, you and I both know that that was no accident. They want to acclimate the public to the drones. What better way to present the drone to the people than to crash one on the ground so that the people can take a look at it and understand what's going on and see that it's quote unquote not really a big thing.
All right, we're gonna do our break. I'm sorry about that, Dex. I'm a little screwed up with the new break layout here. We'll be back with Dex, PulseCan72 from YouTube, and more Wide Awake News Radio in just a minute. Please hang tight. All right, guys. Welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio. Charlie McGrath joined by Dex from PulseCan72 on YouTube, Black Ops Trading Room. Dex, I don't really. We could take this whichever way you want. I do want to talk a little bit about what you think's coming economically, but you know what?
You still there?
I think I may have lost Charlie.
Are we off the air? Or are we still alive?
No, we're still live.
Okay.
Yeah, McGrath must have tripped over one of his wires. You know, that happens. In any case, hey, Dex.
Yes.
How's life treating you, man? This is the Pulse Scan show. we don't need that guy, McGrath.
Well, here you go. I'll pick up where he was going to leave off at. As far as on the economic front has all been a ruse and a lie anyway. We know that the economic numbers have been manipulated for a long time. The stock markets, all the markets have been manipulated for a long time. I don't care if it's Forex, metals, equities, you name it. They're operating. The shadow government's been operating in all those markets, and they're not even hiding it anymore. It's just blatant, is what they're doing. So here's what you can expect from an economic front from now until the end of the year. You can expect precious metals to sympathy rally with the U.S. equity market right after the first 2 weeks in September.
I'm back, brother.
Oh, you're back. All right.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know when I dropped out there, but I did. So, first of all, thanks to the guys in the chat room for putting these stories up on these vehicles in Florida. And I haven't seen this video. I'm trying to find a date on it to see when this was put out. Dex, have you seen this yet?
That particular video, no. I just received the intelligence.
Huh.
Yeah, everything I'm sharing with you guys now is what was sent to me. I don't have videos and news sources. I have direct stuff. So that's what I'm sharing with you guys.
And the thing on this one, I'm looking at it, and it looks like it was submitted in 2010. So I mean, it's fairly dated, but I mean, certainly it's a pretty amazing piece of video. So check it out.
What I'm telling you is 30 days. What I'm telling you has happened within the last 30 days.
All right, go ahead, run with it.
Okay, they have been training, massive training, not just in California, but also in Florida, where they're coming in and they're training, and they're not letting the local authorities know what they're doing. They're just doing it, and they're just taking over. They don't care. And if a passerby, so-called, happens and stumbles upon them, they just chase you away with their assault rifles in hand. They are planning a full-out shutdown of the country. So yes, that is the plan. That's what's on the table.
I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm thinking. Like I said at the beginning of the program, my mind's kind of affixed on us being led into another war. However, I have put a message out to a few people that, look, it wouldn't surprise me to see some kind of false flag Kim event here, because obviously this is the motivating factor that the powers that be are using to steer the folks towards yet another war, another invasion. I mean, are you seeing? I mean, are you feeling that we're looking at some kind of event that's going to lead to, in the near future, that's going to lead to this kind of shutdown of the country?
No, not at all. What I see is the provocation of the war to get other people to bomb us to oblivion. And that's what's going to happen. The thing with Syria is the smoke screen so they can set up the Operation Jericho. Expect several nukes to go off in several different cities simultaneously. That is the plan. The major false flag is going to take place on the East Coast. That's what they want to do. They want to take out D.C. and New York. That's what they're going to do. Scare people to death, incinerate a couple of million people, and turn the whole country upside down. Bring in the martial law, the UN troops, to try to calm people down. At the same time that's happening, what people don't realize is that the banks will be closed and the USA will be totally bankrupt. And then they're going to stranglehold us. And it's not going to be an embargo, but it's going to be an issue where they're going to cut off oil to everybody. So you won't be able to fill up your car. You won't be able to travel or do much of anything. They won't allow anyone to leave the country or come into the country. They will automatically close down all the borders and everything while they round up everyone and just clean house here in America. That's what they're going to do. They're going to lock the door, Katie bar the door, and then just take everybody out. That's what they're doing. And they've already been testing it, and now they're ready to run hot with this thing. Syria is going to kick it off. That'll have everyone's attention away from what's going on here on the home front. And just to let you know, they did gas us already on July the 4th. The chemtrails in Virginia were laced with lithium. That was breaking news.
Yeah, I heard when I joined early in the conversation, you and Gary were talking about something on the 4th of July with chemtrails. Why don't you break that down a little bit?
Yeah, they put lithium in it. It was a test. They want to know what the effects will be. See, that's what they do. They put you to sleep first. They lull you to sleep, and then they murder you in your sleep. And that's what's happening. Everyone's been lured to sleep here in this country, to the point where it doesn't matter what truth you present to people. It doesn't matter what evidences you show people. They're just going to go right back to sleep. They're just going to turn over and go right back to sleep. They don't care anymore. Everyone's been demoralized. The brain cells cannot handle anything of an intellectual nature like that. So yes, FEMA Region 3 is in trouble. It's going to be bombed. It's going to be taken out. And you would think that, oh no, that'll bring the country to its knees because now the White House and the Capitol, man, ain't nothing there. All that stuff is there for show. It always has been. Even the Pentagon, come on now. None of that stuff is what it seems. They've already moved everything out. They're already prepared. Just like I said to you guys too last year, you probably don't remember, I came on the show and I told you that they were making plans to leave the planet temporarily. The elite were building a space station where they could leave for a time while everything here breaks down. Well, guess what? Breaking news, that's exactly what they've been doing. They even put that on. They had the nerve to put that on the news. Regular news, so you can see it. Local news. And everyone just bats an eye like, oh, it would be neat to travel to the moon or go to Mars. That'd be nice to vacation.
Dex, when did I miss the space station story? When did I miss that?
I have no idea. You've been traveling abroad and working hard, man. But yeah,
we have a for-profit space station somewhere going on.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about one for the elite. The elite that are planning to literally leave and resettlement on the moon and on Mars. Yep. Hilarious, isn't it?
Not really.
So the bottom line is, like I said, the only thing that we can do here is one of two things. A, full out revolt. Right?
Yeah.
Or B, everyone just leave the country. Just abandon the country. Just leave it. Now, both of those options will not work. Here's why. Number one, if you revolt, they already have a plan for that too. They could take out pretty much anyone who rises up. I don't care if 1,000 people storm the grounds of the White House. They will be zapped out of existence. The technology and things that they have in reserve that they just cannot wait to roll out is mind-boggling. So that's not going to work.
All right, I'm putting some links into the chat room right now. Some of the stuff that you're talking about, I'm pulling up stories on, putting them in. When we come back, Dex, let's look the last 15 minutes or so. Let's look at what you're thinking we're facing in the next 30, 60, 90 days. We're going to be back with Dex and more Wide Awake News Radio in just a minute. Hang tight. Seventh day of August, Tuesday. Continuing the conversation with Dex, we were talking off break about these scenarios coming to pass, what people are going to do, and how people are going to react. And regardless of what you think of what we're talking about tonight, the fact is we live in a state of constant fear, right? We have distractions like Miley Cyrus and pop culture infotainment. We have distractions to keep our minds numb, dumbed down, and occupied. But this constant message of threat and fear is being played in the background nonstop, 24/7, 365. And over the last decade, a whole generation has been conditioned to this point. A whole generation has grown up with the United States preemptively attacking nations around the world. So seeing or anticipating, as Dex is, some kind of pushback, blowback on a major scale certainly seems conceivable to me. I mean, how many million? I mean, I just put the number out there: 1.45 million Iraqis alone dead since 2003. So to think that this can happen is not living in reality. It's living in this construct that is put before us. That pop culture, that infotainment is news, but it's not. The world is freaking out underneath the illusion that is before us. So I don't know, Dex. I don't know at what level of depravity we go into and how quick we get there. But I do know this, that at some point in time, everything that has been positioned against freedom, everything that has been staged against freedom-loving people and humanity in general will come to bear. You don't build out this apparatus. You don't build this military out. You don't build a militarized police force out without full intent in using it. And a government has never, in the history of this planet, given itself, and I'm talking global governance here, given itself the kind of dictatorial, totalitarian power that we see now, and then not use it, right? It never works out good for the weak. It always works out for the tyrannical, powerful, all-controlling government. They will use that power to keep. They will use that force to keep that power. So regardless if you think what we're talking about is over the top or you don't believe it or whatever, seriously, I mean, look at the condition of the world, look at where we're at and the trajectory we are on, and ask yourself, if a canister of VX, if a canister of mustard gas went off, if, God forbid, a nuke went off, can you imagine the turmoil? I mean, look what happened. Look what happened out of 9/11. Millions dead out of a couple airplanes, right? What happens when something else is unleashed? Next, run with it. What are we looking at in the next? What are you hearing? I mean, obviously, I haven't heard talk like this in quite some time. What's got you so worked up? What are you hearing in 30, 60, 90 days?
The end of America as you know it. They want to bomb and they want the UN to come in and take over. America is about to collapse. It's about to collapse socially, economically, physically, and they're preparing for the UN to come in and take over. I don't know if we'll make it to the end of the year. All the signs are there, the handwriting's on the wall. That's what it's looking like to me. Total collapse of the U.S. government. Completely, utterly, and without remorse. And that's because we've allowed it to happen. Over the past several decades, we have done nothing but just allow it to go. We've been asleep. And now it's too late to do anything. All rising up of anybody will be stomped out cruelly. The control grid that they are going to roll out will be unmatched and unrivaled. The reason why they're going to have very little fallout as far as people rising up, believe it or not, is because of what they're going to be offering you. Well, when people are hungry and people are starving and they're not doing well, and you offer them a chance to do well, they're gonna take it. Excuse me. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna bring everyone who goes with the program. They're gonna bring them into the new system, the new economy. And what are they gonna offer you? Well, one of the things they're gonna offer you is health. This whole Obama healthcare thing, again, that's just a ruse too, to get you to focus somewhere else. They have no intentions on doing anything with this Obamacare. Never really did. The purpose of the Obamacare was to sneak in other laws so that they could really shut this country down and suspend the U.S. Constitution altogether. They just had to go around the back way to do it. Health is not going to be an issue anymore. They're the ones that's making all of us sick. So they're going to roll out the new solution so that you don't have to be sick anymore. And that solution is going to be, take this chip. Take this implant. The benefits of taking the implant is you'll be able to be totally immaculated into the new system. And there's also amazing health benefits as well. You won't be sick anymore. You won't have cancer and be dying anymore. You'll be fine. You'll be healed of your diseases. Take this chip. Come into the new system. People will be rushing into the new system. Okay?
Will be. They already are.
And what's going to happen is the new system is also going to collapse. But the bottom line is they're going to blow everyone's mind in the process of this collapse. It's not just going to be a collapse and that's it. Okay, America's gone. What a nice story. No. On the other side of that, they're bringing in the new system. They're going to introduce you to your new world leader, your new president, who is going to be revealed to be an alien. This whole alien invasion thing is not what it seems. It's not about an invasion. They're already here. They're already doing what they're doing. They're just going to normalize it and make it public display. So that's what they're going to show you.
Freaking me out, Dix.
Hitler wasn't able to realize the dream of the Aryan nation and the superhuman. But in our lifetime, you will see the presentation of the new superhuman who will be said to be alien. And you will see they will have different DNA and they will be walking around doing what they do. But here's what they're not going to tell you about these new individuals. The new individuals that you see are that way because they have more than a microchip inside of them. They have evil, demonic entities living on the inside of them. Because that's what they do. At the very top of this elite pyramid, you have people who are extremely evil and wicked and satanic, and they worship Satan and they worship falling angels and fallen demons. They call them familiar spirits and spirit guides and ascended masters and things like that. They're not aliens. They're not ascended masters. They're not friendly. They're fallen angels. They're demonic entities. That's what they do. Every time you see the stories about the haunted houses and the quote unquote alien abductions and all that stuff, and the reptilians and all that stuff. No, all that stuff is true. It's just that they're not in the physical. They don't have physical bodies. They have spirit bodies. And when you see these so-called psychics who are able to predict the future, they're not predicting the future. What they're doing is they're tapping into the demonic source that's telling them what to do. Same thing with these amazing magicians you see walking around doing street magic and levitating and walking on water. It's the same thing. They're using dark demonic forces to accomplish the things that they're doing. That's why they're able to do what they do. It's not an accident. It's not by chance that these things are happening. They're rolling it out to you. Why do you think the Vatican spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on a telescope that they could look and take over this part of things from a spiritual perspective. They're going to be your new leader when it comes to understanding the spirituality of the new reality of these demonic entities when they are presented before you. Why do you think all the celebrities and actors and musicians are part of the quote-unquote Illuminati? Why do you think they do these satanic rituals at Bohemian Grove? Who do you think they're praying to? Who do you think they're conjuring up? You know, the Ouija board is not a toy. It's a door. It opens up portals to the dark supernatural world. And that's what's happening. That is at the top of this pyramid of this new world order. That's what it is. It's a satanic regime. It's a satanic system. Everything that you see happening with this so-called war in Syria and all the bombings and all these things, these are what this is what is called for. This is what they want. And all the senseless killing of innocent people and bombing women, children, and babies, these are all satanic ritual sacrifices that they do. Just like 9/11 was one big massive satanic ritual and sacrifice. Why do you think you've been seeing more and more UFOs, even in broad daylight now? Because they're preparing. All this stuff is about to be rolled out on you. It's going to blow people away because they're not prepared for this. They don't know what's really going on. They're just focused on one aspect of the conspiracy. But it goes a lot deeper than that. You know, when they crash the monetary system, you'll start to see what I'm talking about.
Real quick, because I just looked at the clock. We're about to run out. On the monetary system, on the monetary front, I mean, there's 15,000 points on the Dow, kind of this euphoria, optimism, but it's starting to crack, and a lot of people think we're going to see going into fall real tremors and real problems in the global financial market. Give us a quick prediction there.
The only thing that you're going to see crash is the gold and silver market once again. All they're doing is pumping it up, getting everyone happy and psyched out, and then they're going to crash it right down to the ground again.
All right, man. Dex, a lot of stuff to consider, a lot of stuff you brought to the program tonight. I don't even know how to wrap it up, but I do thank you for coming on and divulging your heart, dumping it all out there. I appreciate it, Dex.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me back on again.
Not a problem at all. Guys, tomorrow night, Woody O'Brien at the regular spot, and then Thursday, Eric Lovely, and then Friday, Karen. I will be on the programs with these guys at some point in the rest of this week to give you full information on what we know is going to happen with the time slot for Wide Awake News Radio. All right, everybody, appreciate everybody you hanging out with us tonight. Please stay tuned for Jeff Rintz. We have about 50, 60 people in the chat room. Feel free to hang out and listen to Jeff Rintz. He's coming up next. Woody O'Brien tomorrow night, same time. All right, have a good night. Peace.